hello there to all my fellow non-Muslims, and greetings also of course to the non-Muslims out there. This video is going to be a tiny little project that I aim to add to this draw a picture of Muhammad thing that's going to be taking place on May the 20th, but this is going to be slightly different. I hope you'll bear with me, because there's been a lot of trouble with depictions of the Prophet Muhammad on the internet and beyond recently and also over the last few years. But where does this stem from? What's the Muslims' problem with depictions of the Prophet Muhammad? Well, this is a very old tradition, and it's a tradition that stems back from this idea that if the Prophet Muhammad is depicted, then he's liable to be idolized. This is the very reason that the Prophet Muhammad should not be depicted, because if he is, he could be idolized. I'm sure the depictions that probably the people who thought up this had in mind were rather more reverential depictions than the kind of depictions that have caused the problems, but nevertheless that's the root cause of the problem. But this is a bit of an irony really, because if you think of all the people that are idolised, alive and dead, I can't think of anybody who's idolised more than the Prophet Muhammad. Not only do we have the reverential way in which Muslims speak of him, they always include the epithet peace be upon him, or the Arab equivalent after they mention his name, but they also regard him as the perfect example, and not just the perfect example for his time, but the perfect example for all time. Now that to me sounds like idolatry on a level that's been granted to, with the exception of Jesus, no other human being. And yet, when we talk about idolatry, we have to be careful here, because what it really means is deification. They don't want Muhammad himself to be deified. They want him to remain as a human being and to be viewed as a human being. But when you're viewing a human being as being perfect, inherently perfect and perfect for all time, you can see it's a very, very thin line between that and between idolatry. So this is the purpose of this video, and this is the purpose of the Prophet Muhammad Idolatry Buster. So rather than working in a way that's just driving people apart, here's something we can work at together. Non-Muslims don't want to see the Prophet Muhammad idolised. Muslims don't want to see the Prophet Muhammad idolised. This is something we can all pull together on, folks. I'll leave you a rapid share link in the crotch bar to the Idolatry Buster video. I advise you to download it. I advise you to use it to inoculate yourself from the threat of idolatry of the Prophet Muhammad, but also mirror the video. Let's make sure as few people as possible in the world are still susceptible to idolising the Prophet Muhammad. I'll include instructions in the crotch bar along with a link to the video. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll now leave you with the Idolatry Buster. Take care.